All right, welcome to another episode of the Fatboy FadeAway Sports podcast. A little later than usual due to some technical difficulties earlier, but hey,
Episode 53.
Episode 53, yes, make it clear. It'll be like me with the names. I'll always forget the episode and I can't say people's names correctly. That will be just one of my things I'll forget throughout the whole time. Tyler, college football got started yesterday. It was I didn't watch anything. I had other stuff going on. Family responsibilities to take care of. Saw Alabama whooped again on the first week. We kind of talked about that a little bit over text message a little bit before. I was sending you pictures of Alabama students partying by 7 a.m. They were from full go.
Already beer bongs down the
already getting the ball
stairs. Started
doing it. I guess doing it right. That's the way they do it there. I'm just not a huge college football fan of those things. Was there any games that caught your attention yesterday?
Most people in California are huge college football fans, I would say. Unless you're in LA, maybe you got some USC fans.
As UCLA beat LSU yesterday.
My takeaway was the ACC sucks.
As always.
Just watching Clemson and Miami, who were the top two teams. And these guys aren't very good. And then UCLA with the Chip Kellys are 2-0, beat LSU.
Surprising.
Maybe they could be decent. Chip Kelly, maybe it takes a couple of years to get his system in place.
What would you say you actually like about college football?
The good games are amazing. When there's actually good games, like the fans, the atmosphere, it's just different. You don't get it anywhere.
You're not watching like a Nevada versus Cal last night. Like that is no.
There's
not getting anybody. It's not getting the juices flowing.
You got to go down south or back east to like a Penn State or Midwest.
Yeah. That's the thing with college football to me is like I do enjoy like some of the storylines throughout the year and I've always said USC versus Texas is my favorite game. I remember Matt coming over, like we had everybody, a few people at our house. We were like, that was like the best game ever, obviously. And obviously the Ohio State Miami game, I feel like that one was right up there too with some of the with Maurice Claret as the running back, just because Miami was so favored in that game.
The amount of talent on those Miami teams back then was just ridiculous. They'd go 3 deep and be loaded like at every position except quarterback. They never could find that quarterback when they were loaded. It was Ken Dorsey.
Ken Dorsey, the best one there. But so with college football being back, it kind of makes the weekend. There's always kind of something on TV, like at night. Last night, like I was settling down. Like I said, Arizona BYU was on like at 10 o'clock at night. It was like the third quarter. So if I really wanted to, I could have stayed up till midnight to watch it. But so it's good to have it kind of as an option. I don't mind that. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, it's great. Like changing the channel, finding games. You wake up early, you get a little 9 a.m. Big Ten football, some 3 yards of clouded dust.
Is it weird that I'm watching more golf though? I'm watching more golf.
I think that's an age thing.
It must be what goes with that. So speaking of college football, a lot of the games, as we know, are on ESPN, and I kind of wanted to bring this up with you just real quick before I forget. Is Max Kellerman's out at First Take on ESPN, which is a sports show in the morning.
Being replaced by who?
Well, not replaced, just on Friday. For 1 hour. Tim Tebow, and then I guess Michael Irvin will do Mondays. But I guess the reason I bring it up is like it's ESPN as a whole, because then also this week they had this possible fraud situation with the high school.
Not
team.
Possible. It's a fraudulent situation.
Okay, well, probably a charter school. I like how their academics come first, as I heard that they say. And somehow they just, I don't know how ESPN allows that to happen. I feel like the whole network is it's crumbling a little bit. But let me get back to the First Take thing real quick. What do you think about that show in general? Like, did you ever used to watch that show?
I liked it when it was cold pizza and there was Woody and Skip, and just because they were so off the wall. It wasn't like to get knowledge or feel like you knew more. It was entertainment. Woody was a crazy old kook, like old man. Skip was making these crazy takes, and then once Stephen A. came on, I was kind of over it.
See, I actually enjoyed it way more when Stephen A. Smith first came on, because He didn't come on all the time. He came on like as a guest at first, and he was like,
No, I meant permanently came on. Yeah, he's
he was
fine as
perfect
once a
because
week.
yeah, because he would actually, well, he would do it a little bit more, but he would come at Skip. Like he was one of the rare people that actually would like at the beginning, Skip, nobody would really go at Skip the way he would go at him. So it was a much better like debate at the beginning. And then I always enjoyed when Jalen Rose at the beginning of his ESPN stint because he was so like just the way he handled things was I always enjoyed his little moments with Skip. Remember the one when he goes like he scored 4.7 points or something like that in high
Yeah,
school?
oh man. He went hard at Skip.
So I always enjoyed that part about it. Hey, if you're gonna dish it out like he does, I
Oh
mean,
yeah.
you got to be able to take stuff like that. Like it doesn't
Have you
matter.
seen Skip's tweets to LeBron the last like couple weeks? He's
I
a
feel like
fucking
he's getting crazy.
psychopath.
Isn't he getting crazy?
He's losing his marbles.
I guess that's what you know. I always say that's why family's important. He doesn't have any. You know what I mean? You gotta have some.
He has a wife.
Like 8 dogs, probably. I mean, what else? You gotta have some. You have some balance
Probably
there. You
cats.
can't just have 12 TVs on all the time watching sports. You gotta get out. So you can't just
Like he woke
exercise.
up, like he took a picture of his alarm clock at 2 a.m. and he's like, "What are you doing, LeBron? Are you pushing yourself?" I was like, "What are you pushing yourself to do? Just talk shit? Like that's not tough. I could do that."
And what does he need to prove at 36 or 37? You
Yeah,
know what?
exactly.
It's like, come on, man, get a life. If anything, he's helped you stay on the air longer than anything
Oh,
else.
he's made
Them,
Skip.
them and the Cowboys. So just ESPN as a whole, and then you had the fraud thing that with the, like we said, Bishop
Discipline.
Sycamore,
Yeah.
and that got us thinking about like just frauds in general in sports, like some of the great frauds, like in sports and maybe in like entertainment, like you know. I remember when I was like growing up and like I was probably like 5, but you always heard the name Milli Vanilli, and that was like
Millie.
they were famous for
Millie
what
Vanilli.
the recording, not somebody else's recording.
Lip singing.
It's just funny how, and the thing too, I read up on them a little bit too. It's funny, like they were like a German guys, and
They were.
yeah, the sounds were like more English, and it's like people were already kind of a little suspect on it. It's like, how do you think you're gonna get away with this stuff? I don't know. It's funny to me. So you researched a few frauds. What did you have over there?
I got a couple good ones. I got this jockey in 1986 tried to win a race. It was a very foggy day, and I guess he creeped through the starting gates and got like around the corner without anyone seeing him because it was so foggy. He ended up winning by 25 lengths on a 25-1 horse, and he got caught. The horse wasn't breathing hard and wasn't dirty. So they were like, what the hell is going on? And he set the record for the course record at the
Wherever the race was, wherever the track
yeah,
was.
where the race, yeah, the track record. And
See, how do you think you're going to get away with that? It's foggy. I mean, come on. I mean, nobody in your 25-1 odds and you win by I mean, 25 lengths. I mean,
but this guy later had a couple of children. One who races and is very good jockey. He raced for the like in Kentucky Derbies and stuff.
okay.
And then one who was later charged with attempted murder. So
Could go either way.
yeah. DNA's a little weird.
Looks like he got a little bit of his dad's, maybe a little bit accelerated there. At least his dad just cheated at horses. You know, maybe that's something else.
Yeah.
You got to.
Do you remember Sid Finch? The story of Sid Finch.
No.
He was a made-up baseball player that this reporter was.
Yes.
He said he was throwing 168 miles per hour, and he was just
in like India or something, right? Or Nepal or something.
This was in New York on the Mets. They said he was like it was the media was so like so much less coverage. You could just make up a story about some guy who threw 168 miles per hour.
Yeah, I actually remember now that it's bringing back memories. I've read up more on that. I think the guy made up the story that he was from like Nepal or like some way out there in like the small little village or something like that. And
the last line of the article is where he tells people that it's an April Fool's joke. He says he's a pitcher, part yoga and part recluse, impressively liberated from her opulent lifestyles. Well, I don't know my own handwriting. Something about yoga, and it stands for Happy April Fool's Day. If you take the first letter of all those words.
Oh, okay. Oh yeah, because he used for every paragraph he used a certain letter that would spell that out. It spelled that. Yeah.
in the
That's right.
article, and just a fraud.
Hey, we got to work on your handwriting there. You got to get that. You got to get that.
It says lifestyle deciding about you.
Penmanship is important, even though I can't always read my handwriting as well. No, those are some good ones. I always hear about the Boston Marathon lady, Rosie Ruiz, who came in like just through the crowd and was on a subway or on a train there. Like, I mean, I guess she had run in other marathons before, but like not like that. Never finished that great. It wasn't even sweaty. You know, it's like just the gall. And then a couple other ones I researched was that the 2000 paraplegic Spanish basketball team. They faked 10 people. I mean, come on, you can't be doing that. That's a little crazy. And then I didn't know about this one. Was in 2006 the soccer scandal with the refs? I didn't know about that one. Where like the Italian Juventus, they got dropped down to a division and a few other teams because they were in kind of cahoots with like, oh, we want that ref and that kind of deal. Like, so that was a little. So those were some
vaguely.
Good ones.
I remember that. There's also a good golf one in 1985. This guy named David Robertson trying to qualify for the British Open. He'd get up to the green before anybody else, and he'd pretend to mark his ball, and he'd pick up the ball and not mark it, just pick up the ball before everyone else got up there, and he'd put his marker in more favorable putting positions.
So weak. It never pays to cheat. Never pays to cheat. I know that. Do not do it. Karma will always get you. It will always find a way. I mean, I'm sure there's some people out here that have gotten away with it, but very rarely is it happen. Like if you're going to be like, especially that obvious about it, like the guy with the horse, like going through fog. I mean, come on, you can't be winning 25-1. That's pretty ridiculous.
by course track record.
I mean, that's crazy that you do something like that. Yeah, it's funny how there's always an opportunity with it. We've had a lot of frauds with like steroids and stuff like that. Lance Armstrong, like those are to be a little different than the ones we were kind of mentioning. These were just kind of like, those are blatant acts, but those are more like chemically enhanced. These are just like literally, this is like my kids are like cutting in line. Like it's like obvious. Like, what are you doing? What are we thinking here? I had to mention also because if any Kings fan out there, Tim Donaghy, that's also a good one. Being in cahoots with being your ref in a game, that's pretty good on that one as well. That's a pretty tough one to be there.
David Stern special.
Say that again.
A David Stern special.
David Stern special.
And then you have Danny Almonte in the Little League.
That was also a good one as well. Hey, before we get out of here to get to baseball here, I was watching also on ESPN. I was watching some of the tennis matches on there, and I saw Osaka lost again. And she was mentioning that, and we talked about it before through the mental health part. She's saying that she might need a break from tennis now. She just might want to take a break. And I heard some quotes earlier in the week from John McEnroe, and I want to say, gosh, what's the lady, the famous lady that beat that man in the 1970s? Billie Jean King. There were some quotes from them, basically in the concept of saying, or in the context of saying, it kind of comes with the territory to a certain extent. The media and stuff. Like, as a player, you have to be. It's kind of part of the job, right? In some ways, like there's a final.
It is to be a pro athlete. You have to talk to the media,
and so like it's that balance of like the mental health part of it, and then it's this is also, as they were kind of saying, it is part of your job though. So like it doesn't mean that you have to do it, and that's perfectly fair. But you can't always have what's to say your cake and you eat it too. So I think that's for me as we're kind of mental health things are coming more and more out there. I don't want to be so quick to judge because I think from my standpoint, I always have a tendency to kind of think like, come on, what are we doing? Toughen up a little bit. Like, I think that's just maybe the way as a man too, we're kind of brought up to think, and the way my nature is like, just overcome it. Like, see if you can overcome it. But I sometimes wonder, not necessarily maybe with these ladies, because they're on such a massive stage. Okay, I want to be kind of fair to that. Like, there's more attention at them. I just kind of wonder from professional sports down to even like Little League, where is that mental health? Where's the line there between mental health and like not mentally weak? That might be a little too tough, but like, I I don't know, not being able to say, okay, I need to like still be able to move on with my day in a sense too. And so I'm having a hard time with the mental illness thing a little bit.
Yeah, it's tough. I don't like to when people use it as like, not that she's using it because I don't know what she's going through. I'm ignorant to it. I don't feel like I have these issues. So like I don't know, but like in my just what I live like my life, I don't like you using excuses like that's not even tangible. You can't tell people what it really is other than mental health. I saw a quote she said where she said, "Winning isn't fun anymore. It's more of a relief." And I think that's true of all great athletes. Like that they have this pressure on them to win every time. Like I don't think Kobe was having fun until he won a championship. Like, or LeBron isn't having like fun. Well, he has fun while playing, I imagine, but like there's pressure on him. They feel that pressure from the media. Like, and it just.
Well, and that's the part where she'll have to take it. I think in overall with this, if you're as big as she is, she'll have to take. She doesn't have to have like she can cut back on her sponsorships, and she can just basically play as like. But to get paid, these are some of the obligations, and I also think that players now have such a different aspect as them looking at the media than we would say even like 15, 20 years ago, and even longer, like 30 or 40 years ago. The media helped these players get their messages out. The media helped, that was their way of getting it out. But now with social media and different platforms, like I think as a player, they resent the media even more. You know what I mean? Like, don't you get that feeling?
But they don't have to be on social media. They don't get paid to be on social media. Like, I mean, some of them get.
But I'm saying I think they get
but it
their
doesn't
message
come with
out
the sport at that point.
I guess what I'm saying is I feel like when they have to talk to the media after these matches, it's like, what's the, I think I'm noticing they're becoming more resistant to that, even in all the sports. Like, it just seems like they don't necessarily after the game are excited to talk to the media. Like we're talking 30, 40 years ago, because you can just tweet something or you can, just video yourself on a phone doing something. I'm not saying all the players feel that way, but it doesn't feel like journalism is the same anymore.
No, it's not. It's all about getting clicks and just people get paid. It doesn't matter what you're saying as long as you're getting clicks.
And I feel like the players can drive that narrative. So that's why I like with Osaka and stuff like that. I'm just curious with, like, I understand like the mental health thing and the Biles thing. It's just, I don't know. I guess I'm just having a hard time understanding some of the more aspects of it.
And Kevin Love did it too. It's not just a woman thing. There's just guys who have.
Oh, Kevin Love. I have him down as a guy that will. There's plenty of guys. I have a few others on the list here. Like that, she was just the one that came up this week, but there's everybody there's a lot of guys that have that issue. No doubt about it. Kevin Love was like one of the first persons to come out about it. And even then I'm wondering is like, where's that stress? And like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. Like, it's just a weird balance for me to understand it. Cause you're like you're saying, it's not tangible. I can't see it really.
I just think I don't know what to say. It's just a touchy.
We'll say something, man.
Well, I'm going to hurt people's feelings and I don't want to do that. So
I've already heard it.
No, but I could go even further than that. I think it's mentally, like, when did mentally weak go away? Like you said, you didn't want to touch on it, but when did that go away?
Then that's what I'm trying to figure out.
Like there were people who just couldn't handle it, like, and they were just called mentally weak, thrown away, and that like thrown like you're okay now. You're like Martina Hingis was winning a couple majors, and then she went away because she didn't want to do it, and probably didn't want to deal with the media.
I think it's perfectly fine if athletes kind of took the Michael Jordan approach in that sense, where he probably got mentally burnt out too, and just take a break, like literally just step away. Then you know what I mean? I think that's what to wrap this part up. I think that's what McEnroe and Billie Jean King were kind of getting to was. You're right. Like just it is stressful. But it is stressful. Like playing in athletics, there's demands that no other people can go through in certain aspects. But it's your job, and we all, and even your job and my job, we have mental stresses that come with each and one of our jobs and our lives that we have to be able to kind of navigate through. So I think their thought was like, if you don't think that you can mentally handle these things and tennis is fun, then that's where you need to take a break from tennis altogether. That's what they were more saying. Like maybe it's not just the media, maybe it's tennis in general as well, like the burnout factor a little bit. And that happened, you know what I mean? I think that's what they were trying to get
if you're playing too many tournaments, like just cut that. Like, I don't know. I don't think tennis media is worse than NBA media or NFL media.
I don't know. I mean, it's a pretty popular sport worldwide for sure, especially in Japan where she plays for it too. So I mean, maybe there's more pressure she feels on her than
I don't know.
other athletes that are in
He's
America.
not. She's not Michael Jordan famous though, where he's like like Michael Jackson famous, getting like mobs of people around you all the time when you go out in public.
No, but maybe, not for everybody does that. Like that's going to trigger already like some sort of stress.
Yeah,
Some people don't even like. Some people are introverts to where they don't even want to talk to two people. Like
I mean, I don't.
So
Yeah, I don't even like going in a line and like a line at the grocery store. I'm like, where's the least crowded spot so I can deal with the least amount of the public.
You got to be mentally tougher when you're shopping. You have to be able to stay through the line there.
Pay me millions of dollars. I'll figure it out.
No, I think it's something that we talk on. Hopefully, we're not offending anybody with it. I think we're just trying to have an honest discussion about where's the line with this stuff, and I think that's fair, right? And so I hope people understand that we're not saying that like, hey, this.
No, I hope she gets right.
Yeah, I'm just trying to understand on a society standpoint, like if I can call into work and be like, I'm just trying to figure out where that line is going to be drawn at some point, because in my mind, there's always a definitive line of stuff. So, I don't know.
Don't you think Serena and Venus had more pressure on them and more scrutiny than even back when they were in like two African-American girls from Compton who have some swagger, something tennis hasn't seen? They weren't accepted and befriended at first. It was like, who are these girls with these things in their hair? And I imagine they faced all this pressure and they thrived. So I don't know. It's just
maybe
some people can handle more than others.
Yeah, and I think sometimes people put more pressure. Certain people put more pressure on themselves. Maybe some people like handle things differently in that sense, and so maybe that's where some of that more mental stress comes in on that point as well.
But Serena has had some breaking points too, where she got like suspended for yelling at chair umps and stuff, and like.
Yeah, no, for sure.
And like she's done some stuff that wasn't good, but she was never. She never blamed her mental health, I don't think.
Then on the like we said, back to Kevin Love, he had that same thing come out with it where he was having probably LeBron caused mental stress on.
I think he went from playing for a championship team to the worst team in the NBA, and he said
LeBron will do that to people. He starts throwing out things of mood with Arthur that gets in your head. It can't be dealing with that stuff.
The Arthur fist.
No, for sure. So again, like we hope we didn't offend anybody there, but we're just trying to have an honest talk about it and just try to just because I think it's going to be a bigger part going forward too. So we'll see what happens with it. But I do enjoy watching the U.S. Open. By the way, that's my favorite tournament. Because I can actually watch it. Times are actually on at real time. They don't start at like 2 a.m. or 4 a.m. every time. So let's take a quick little break here. We'll get back, finish it up with some baseball. We definitely want to get into the Giants here and the Dodgers series.
And the Athletics.
And unfortunately, the Athletics. All right, we're back. A little bit of lighter topic here. As he's rubbing his eyes after the Dodgers beat the Giants yesterday, 6-1, handily. And after you guys won the Friday night game 3-2 in extra innings, was that 10, right? It finished in 10, or was it
11?
11, yeah. 11. I thought I was going to go longer. I remember as Turner was throwing the ball to first base, he was turning. And I looked at Hana and I was like, this game's never going to end. And sure enough, he threw it off so it ended immediately. So tied at 1 series wise. You guys both 86-50 going into tonight's Sunday night game. Last time you'll meet this year, unfortunately. Big regular season game, one of the bigger Giant regular season games in a while, especially that they're playing the Dodgers. It's not like the Padres. It's not the, you know what I mean? It's not the Diamondbacks. It's the Dodgers. We haven't had this in a while.
Yeah. They're facing Walker Buehler, which scares me. You said 2.5 games last week was so insurmountable, and I was like, that's 2 days. And now we are tied. I mean, I still think the Dodgers are going to win the division, like I've said from the beginning. I'm happy with the Giants season. I'm thrilled. They've overachieved. I hope they pull it out. They don't hit Walker Buehler, so I expect them to lose today. They haven't hit the last month. I feel like they're the A's the last 2 weeks. They don't get any clutch hits. And
they were awful Friday.
Oh, they couldn't get. Yeah, they were 3 for 23 with runners in scoring position on Friday.
Yeah, they were pretty bad.
And the bullpen gets a little leaky if we're losing. If we're winning, they're fine. Except for McGee has a little trouble with the Dodgers. But the Dodgers are loaded too. I think they're one of the best teams since those like Yankees, Red Sox, early 2000, late 90s teams. They're that loaded, like at every position.
Their depth is scary everywhere.
1 through 8 is just
their lineup is tough.
When your 8 hitters Pollock or
Bellinger.
Yeah.
Bellinger's having an awful year. Awful year. I am
170.
Pathetic. Theo, if you're out there who owns him in a fantasy baseball league, how do you still have him on your team? You should have dropped him a long time ago. You got to drop that guy, man.
Former MVP.
So what are you nervous about the game tonight? You feeling good about it? I mean, you got Buehler, so you're probably thinking you're the obvious underdog. Do you even know? I had looked. They don't even know who they're starting yet.
Yeah,
I know. Bullpen by committee, maybe.
They've done that the first 2 games. I think they're going Gosman.
Is Gosman? I looked this morning. There was nobody posted yet.
Yeah, I don't. Am I nervous? No, because there's no expectations for me. Their expectations for me are at minimum wild card. If they win the division, I'm stoked. So like, no, there's not like that nerve. It's not the playoffs yet where it's win or go home or like anything like that. So, it's just a good game. It's going to be fun, entertaining, and just excited to watch it.
It's like playoff baseball a little early today. It's a big game to me. I think
it's a huge game.
It's one of the bigger games in a while. 4:00 prime time on ESPN. What do you know?
Probably their biggest game since the last game of 2010 against the Padres to go to the playoffs.
Yeah, regular season there. Good stat for you. Giants are 42-11 when they're the underdog going into a game, and as of right now, they're the underdog going into a game on the betting side. So that's a pretty crazy stat. 42-11.
That's insane. They made a lot of money.
What's the key tonight? You got to get 2 off Buehler early. That's usually when he's at his worst.
Yeah, get some early runs off Buehler.
Wade's in at the leadoff spot tonight, probably then, right?
Yeah, facing a righty probably. He's been batting lower in the order because they put on 2 lefties to start the game, and Ruff has been starting.
What do you guys think of this? Was it Escada at second base there?
Thairo Estrada?
Yeah, he's made some nice plays when he's been there.
He's a good player. He's a good solid player.
Mateo, yeah. What? Mateo, he couldn't bunt. He had the bad bunt.
He doesn't know how to bunt.
That was a great discussion with that one. He's actually, speaking of Mateo, he said he went to the game yesterday. I would say, or following him on Twitter yesterday, He made it out to the game. Another loss for him there. He's got to be able to pick it up.
He's a bad luck charm right now. Did you hear? I sent you that thing about the strike.
Yeah. What happened with
Oracle Park? I don't know. I guess they didn't walk out yesterday, Mateo said.
But what's the strike about? I don't even know what you're talking about.
All the workers at Oracle Park, the Giants stadium. It's once again, it's a third party who comes in. They hire all these people. It's not the Giants. But I guess like 30 people have gotten COVID since they shut down since they've come back with fans.
Okay.
And they're saying it's unhealthy work conditions and we want to raise.
Which
is fair, I guess.
And they haven't got a raise in 3 years.
Yeah, exactly. So with inflation and
now, if you're serving a hot dog, though, you deserve that. But if you live in San Francisco, you should probably get a raise there. I'm guessing most of those people don't live in San Francisco.
No, I'm guessing not.
That would be my guess over there. Well, to me, massive game. Like I said tonight, we'll see what happens there.
How about those Athletics on Friday?
Do we really have to talk about my A's? The A's are pathetic.
Real quick. Friday. I just want to talk about Friday. I want the roller coaster on the nose.
Horrible. Their bullpen sucks. It is so frustrating when your bullpen sucks. It is like, I think I looked the last 2 weeks. Almost, it's not even just any middle relievers. Everybody that comes in, it's 1 or 2 or 3 or 4. It's oh my gosh, it's just you can't win baseball and you can't expect your starting pitcher to go 9 innings. My goodness, it's horrible. There are bullpen at every game. That's the reason they're not going to be in the playoffs, honestly.
We said exactly that. They just don't have the staff. They can't get out easy enough.
No, as bad as I rip on their hitting, the reason they're not making the playoffs this year is their bullpen because they've just blown at least 9 games down the stretch. And when I say down the stretch, I mean like the last 14 days.
They're bad. You can't have guys more than one guy in your bullpen like Robo and Petit, like that throw 85 miles per hour, unless they're like a sidewinder or a lefty. I don't think you can have two righties throwing 86 miles per hour.
And then get Diekman out of here, get Trevino out of here. I mean, that's 4
Just
guys.
want them all gone.
Those are supposed to be your top 4 guys, and they're all pathetic. Like I told Casey yesterday, and I know you disagree. I would just put Puck as the closer. What the heck do you have to lose at this point? They're all horrible. Even, he hasn't been good either, but still, I would put him in. He has the best stuff out of anybody there. I mean, at the very least, he gets a couple saves, maybe build some confidence to be a closer next year. Maybe he's a trade bait for something. At the very worst, you're at the same spot you were this whole last 2 weeks with no closer situation. That's where I would at least put him in as the closer.
He's on the roster right now as a middle reliever?
Yeah, he's like pitch. I mean, he did. Remember, he blew the game against you guys in the 8th inning, so there was moments he would come in later in the game. But my point is, they're so bad. I would just put him in as my closer, and just maybe something happens, like where he builds some confidence in the next year. Like I don't know, that's what I would do because at this point it's horrible.
Top 10 picks should be middle relievers this early in their career.
Yeah,
like
no doubt.
Especially if they have nasty stuff. Like let's let them succeed or fail, and put them in somewhat of an important role to see what they can do.
I am going to the game on I think Tuesday or Wednesday. That was with my dad and Derek. We're gonna watch the White Sox A's, so that'll be cool. See Vaughn.
Speaking of the White Sox, I just bought an autograph rookie Andrew Vaughn card.
How much did you have to pay for that? Can you tell me?
$40.
Liar.
Not much. It was $40. I'll send you a picture.
With tax. That's pretty cool. Hey, I like the jersey you sent me because they had the Cal shirt on it. But anyways, I'm going Wednesday night, so I'm pretty excited about that. I haven't been in a few years. I'm excited to take Derek to his first game. So hopefully the A's are up by 50 and they can't blow a lead. That it's
Would you rather see an A's win or Andrew Vaughn 3 bombs?
Well, it depends.
I think I'd rather see Andrew.
Probably I'd rather see that. It's way more of a rarity than an A's win. Yeah, well, maybe at this point the A's winning a game is rare too. So we'll take I would take Vaughn out there. So I'm excited to see if maybe I see anybody out there too that's going to the game that's from our neck of the woods.
Did you ever get one of those T-shirts?
I did. So we'll see if I'll wear it, and I'll try to post it. And that'll be good.
You better wear an A's hat on top of that.
I will. I'll definitely not wear a White Sox hat. That's for sure. So anyways, that'll be fun for me. Little Bay Area ball here. Real quick, who do you got winning the wild card? Padres, Reds, Cardinals. Padres are up a half.
The Cardinals are back in it.
They're 2.5 out or 3.5 out. I think.
Didn't they lose like 14 games in a row earlier in the year?
It's the Cardinals. They're always in it.
Yeah, they're always in it.
I always say that. Doesn't matter with them.
Padres I don't want the Cardinals. Padres are Reds. I'm going with the Reds. No, I'm going Padres. I'm going with the Fathers. Tatis. Did you see Tatis's home run the other day? Sorry to get it.
Yeah, Cardinals are 2.5 back. Phillies 3, and Padres are back. You're going with
Padres. But did you see his home run the other day?
Yeah, laser.
Wait, he ran around the bases?
No, I didn't see that.
He runs to third base. He gets like a foot away. He starts backpedaling for a couple feet, and then runs again. I was like, "Well, that's a little too much for me." Like, I don't mind you pimping a home run. Don't start
I'll have to watch that
from a base.
So did like a little backwards shuffle?
Yeah, it was like an MVP, like the show rounding the bases for a home run. I was like, what the hell's going on?
Wow. All right. Well, I'll have to check that one out. I didn't see that.
I'm all for players having fun though. So, but that just seemed a little much.
I would want the Padres in just to have I think that would be a good series with the Dodgers and Giants. Like whoever gets in that wild card game, that would be like a good matchup. I have a feeling though the Reds get in. That's who I think get in.
I just don't trust their pitching.
I don't either, but the Padres have just been so pathetic. I really actually kind of want to say that. I really kind of want to say the Cardinals. That's really who I want to say.
The Cardinals?
I mean, how do I bet against them with like they just always find a freaking way. I guarantee that last week of the season they're like within a game. I
Oh,
guarantee.
for sure.
I guarantee.
Who's on their team you want to watch? Like Arenado?
I don't watch anybody on their team. I just know they just are always there. They have baseball players and they have like.
So you want to pick them? You don't want them to be there.
I don't want them to be there. I just. I
thought you said you wanted them to be there. Okay.
The Spurs of the NBA. It's hard to pick against them. All right. I think that will be our little our show for the week here. Not our longest one, but I think we got into some good stuff.
Yeah.
We're also going to have our MFL. We're going to do an NFL preview one, I think later today here. We'll have that one out on Tuesday. So be lookout for the NFL preview one as well. But yeah, good stuff this week on the podcast. It was good touching on the Giants, A's there a little bit. Well, actually, it was pathetic touching on the A's. It was good ripping on them. I feel a little bit better now. I was able to lash out a little bit about them. It was good also kind of talking about the mental health thing with you a little bit. Just like I said, just kind of real life topics that I just try to work out through it. If anybody wants to rip on me on the comments, I take it on or whatever. I'm just trying to understand it the best I can. And I enjoy tennis too, just to be honest. And I enjoy watching those players play as well. I was just telling you actually the other day, it'd be fun to have somebody on that knew a lot about tennis. It's just a weird sport to me, like just like the whole international part of it, the America, like it's not as popular anymore. I don't know, it just fascinates me, like the idea of the sport. It's so simple, like in the sense of like you don't need a ton of equipment to just go out and play. Like I don't know, it's kind of it's an interesting sport.
It's a weird sport that they give them 2 chances. What other sport do you get 2 chances? You get over the net. I missed. I get a point, right? Nope. I get another chance. All right. I guess we're going to do it again.
You don't do that in tennis. It's a fault, right? So I guess.
Yeah, you get another chance.
But if you hit the net, you don't get that, right?
Well, I mean, hit the net and it doesn't go in.
I just want to clarify for the tennis.
No, it's a let if it hits the net and goes in.
All right. Now we've clarified that. I feel better about myself going forward into this. All right, T. I'll see you. I'll see you later.
101.
Yes, exactly. Awesome. Remember to watch your golf today. It's on. It's good matches. Good matches. All right, man. I'll talk to you later. See ya.
Later, man.